So before we pick up with the photo walkthrough, were there any other, first of all, are there any other announcements we haven't covered that people would like to share besides Beer Fest and of course the upcoming Springbrook line? Okay, well, I'm going to take that as a no. So the next agenda is, does anyone have anything they want to show? Maybe a recent acquisition, or they want to sell something or give away? Is anyone who has anything along those lines that want to bring up?
Not exactly, but I do have like one lesson learned. As I look at the gallery, I see that I'm still probably the most junior person here. I kind of wish we had some newer members, because I learned a great lesson from that little Farnsworth I was working on last month. Real briefly, I was getting ready to hand it back to the owner, and I turned it on and it didn't work. And I pulled it out and I poked at it with a chopstick, and I thought I identified the problem, thought it was a cold solder joint on a blob on the back of the volume control power switch. So I completely cleaned that out. It seemed to be working, buttoned it back up, got ready to deliver it again, turned it on the next day, didn't work. And I went back in, and long story short, it turned out to be a bunch of carbon on the contacts in the switch on the back of the volume control. So I looked at it, and there was no real easy way to open up the switch without opening up the volume control itself. So I did that, pulled the switch off, cleaned the carbon out, got it working, went to put it back together again, and discovered that I had pretty much completely screwed up the volume control. There was a spring in there, spring contact, tried to redo it, couldn't do it. The thing was dead, and I was in a panic because I already tried to find good volume controls in the past and had no success. But I found a little comment on ARF where somebody referred to, I think his name is Mark Offit, and how he will build volume controls on demand. He doesn't have that information on his website, but if you give him a call, he'll do it. So I gave him a call, had a great conversation with him for 45 minutes. I mean, he was just full of information. Asked me the dimensions, asked me the spec of the pot, how long the shaft was it serrated, and I talked to him on Friday. On Monday, I had a brand new unit sitting in my mailbox for a incredibly reasonable price, considering that he puts these things together on demand, and I was able to deliver the radio. So it was you guys probably know all this already, but it was a real education for me, and I would like to pass that on to anybody who's just getting into this, because I was in a panic. I thought I just totally destroyed the thing. So just a story. That's it.
Oh, that's good to know, Bruce. You know, I wouldn't call that a newbie mistake. I think we all probably run into things like this, and this kind of information sharing goes a long way in the club. So
I'm sorry. I should add one other thing. Normally, whenever I take something out of a chassis, I put a piece of cardboard over the speaker. Been very careful about that. The second time it didn't work, I yanked it out, failed to put the cardboard over it, got the thing soldered back in, and I looked down and I had a pair of pliers, a pair of narrow nose pliers on my workbench, open with the prongs sticking out, and I had poked 4 holes in the speaker.
oh.
And so this thing was cursed. I'm cursed. I don't know. But I found yet another hint on ARF, which was to use tea bag material, soak it in diluted Elmer's glue, and then patch it on over the hole, and the thing worked. I think it worked better than it did when I had first tested it. So this was this little radio that should have taken like a day and a half to fix, and I just about had a heart attack over it. So now I'm done.
That's all right. Phew. I know that I can appreciate that. You know, you let your guard down for that one time. I can appreciate that at least. Well, at least there seems to be a happy ending here. Excellent. Does anyone else have anything else to share or show or whatever the case may be? All right, I guess not. I guess we'll do is we'll pick up where we left off. I'll consider this the wrap-up meeting. Just looking ahead, Greg, if you're up for it, I think we'll show the Wisconsin Antique Radio Club meeting pictures and maybe what you did next meeting, first one in May. Did that work for you? Perfect. Excellent. Well, without further ado, let me pick up where I left off here. Oh, 1 second here. All right, can everyone see my screen? This is where we should have left off. It was actually the picture before was the barrel, a tub of tubes. And I think we had covered that the last meeting. Or if in doubt, I can tell you for sure we were definitely here, where we're at. I thought we covered this, but in case we didn't, a little brief overlap. Well, lots of old tubes for reasonable money here. But anyway, moving on. So here's a nice Edison early phonograph. I'm not sure whose table that was, but it looks to be in reasonable condition. I think I can picture his face. Somehow the name is not. I'm having a name retrieval problem right now. But this is the man, the cloth, so to speak. He's one of our members sells also the grill cloths and perfect for a lot of these older American radios. Here, does anyone remember his name? For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. Sadly,
I think his first name is Michael, isn't it?
Yeah,
yes.
first name is Mike. I don't remember the last name.
Yeah, it'll come to me later probably. But he's there at the events on a regular basis, always selling grill cloths. He's a great source for it for us local folks. Okay, here's a couple of nice. We see a Westinghouse. This one.
The other one on the left is a Philco.
Mm-hmm.
Thought so. Thanks, Bob. It'd be very nice. The Westinghouse is also rather nice looking radio. It's funny, you don't see a lot of Westinghouse radios. You know, every time I think about it, you see lots of Emerson and RCA and Philcos and Zeniths, but Westinghouse actually made some rather nice pieces. Just you don't see a lot of them.
Do you remember the Newhart TV show in the 80s? Bob Newhart had a Philco like that in his den on the TV show.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
How interesting. I think I managed to just overlook that. I didn't immediately see that show that often. So
The other thing I'm noticing about that radio is that bezel is arrow straight, and
Yeah.
those things have a tendency to warp really bad. So that one's actually in really excellent condition.
I see what you're saying.
Actually, Bob, they started making them out of different material after the war. The pre-war ones in 41 and 42 were the ones that were made of tenite and warp, but these after the war, they just were plastic, I think, and they're always generally pretty straight. I know a lot of people who've swiped them off of these 47 204s and 205s and put them on pre-war ones.
I didn't know that, Greg. Thanks for bringing that up, because I wasn't aware of that.
Because you can generally find those relatively cheap, and the ones from before the war with the handles on top are a little more valuable, and a lot of people like to swipe them from these to put them on there. Even the face is pretty much the same.
Yeah, I think dimensionally it's the same.
Yeah.
Now, this shouldn't have a handle, right?
No, that was like some kind of a coating on that wood to look like a pressed board. With
Yeah.
that pattern pressed into it.
Yeah. AC Kasem. Well, this is probably relatively.
Oh.
for those who remember Casey Kasem, in fact, if you get
XM.
radio, they play, the top hits, on like the 70s or
I
Mhm.
had a school friend in high school who did a perfect impersonation of Casey Kasem. But
Could he-
his-
could he-
but when
could he do
when he
that,
would actually display his prowess, he was kind of blue about certain things, and it was just really funny to listen to.
Well, there's that classic clip where Casey Kasem says something like, that ought to keep the little bastards busy or something like that.
Yeah, I heard that.
it's funny.
I think that was Captain Kangaroo. He said that. on-
Yeah, that story is an old urban legend about every kid's announcer in every city from, the 1940s and 50s. But the Casey Kasem story was he went on a rant about U2 and started, was saying, U2, who the hell ever heard of U2? What sort of a freaking group is this? Was swearing a blue streak. It's wonderful to listen to.
Casey Kasem unfiltered. He seems so mild mannered, when he does his show, but obviously he has the dark side. That's funny, but yeah, I guess they must have had some sort of like promotional item here with the top. Bruce Phillips' table, of course, selling his tubes, which he certainly does on eBay. If you're a follower of him, his store. And for those of you who, if you do follow Bruce on eBay, every week or so, at least, I think he stops in the summer or maybe in the late spring. He's been putting on some really interesting radios that sell for pretty heady money on eBay. But it's fun. For me, it's like going to a radio show without actually having to, instead of restraining myself and not actually bidding on any of these had really some interesting stuff. Actually, most recently, it had a really neat Heath kit, early stereo from '62. In fact, Howard, you were called out because you supplied the magic eye for it. I thought was really, I was very tempted, but it was actually bidding low initially. Then it went straight up, and I said, "Well, that's that. I'm out." But he has a lot of neat stuff. So I guess Bruce is pairing the herd. So for those of you who want to look for something unique, you surely will find something in Bruce's collection that will fit the bill.
I recently bought a Sonara Sonorette, which is the small version of the Cadillac radio, which I also bought from him. Needless to say, I've spent my allowance, multiples of my allowance on Bruce's stuff, but I still feel as if I've gotten a good deal because there's some phenomenal pieces, and he has a great reputation on eBay. So, things are going to go big, but I got some very nice pieces from Bruce.
I can appreciate that, Howard. I've been tempted more than once. I've had to kind of like hold back, even though I was like, "Ooh, I should have." I shouldn't have passed on that. But he is, and his collection is some really unique and rare stuff. And on eBay, they do bid up well. So I guess it comes down to an eBay. It has to be that it becomes an emotional purchase at the point. If you really want it, you just have to be prepared. You'll pay because there's lots of bidders that go after his stock. And in fact, to your point, Howard, he has a large number of transactions. He has 100% satisfaction, which is speaks volumes. That's surprising. Bruce's. He gave, if you may recall, some of you. About 2-3 years ago, he gave his excellent email treatise on how to pack a radio for shipping, and it was not just a little short 2 or 3 paragraph. It was a very lengthy description. And Greg, you have lots of experience in doing that, but he was like, he basically it's basically one step away from being bomb hardened, shipping. But if you're on eBay, do check out Bruce's offerings. It's a fun, like I said, it's like going to a radio show on a weekly basis.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
one of my favorite story, one of my favorite stories with Bruce Phillips was when back when I first got interested in the late 90s in radios, we went to New Hampshire to the flea market at St. Stan's Hall. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
And so my wife had been born in Bangor, Maine. She was an Air Force brat, so she wanted to go back
Okay.
and see where she was born. Anyway, I went to the radio meet at St. Stan's. I hadn't been there more than 15 or 20 minutes when I saw a radio that I really wanted. But before I could get my hands on it, a guy named Bruce Phillips walked up, picked it up and put it under his arm. And I must have waited 30, 40 minutes for him to put it down, but he would never put it down. So he had what I always termed as a death grip on it. He would, I still am sad that I missed that radio. So whenever you grab something, you need to hold on to it tight.
Yeah, I can imagine Bruce's burly arms just grabbing onto it, and that'd be it. But that's funny. But well, yeah. Speaking of which, this picture of this Firestone Air Chief should look very familiar for you Raven readers. That made the cover page of this recent edition. Actually, I think the credit goes to Alan Finger for taking that photo. Very, very good looking radio. I think this is, I could be wrong, this might be Bruce's radio that he was selling. Nice radio with those little sliders, really, really neat stuff. Very, very attractive radio. And the decals in really good condition. Just, it's a really top-notch radio. In fact,
That's a custom paint job, but there was a person who did all of these, and Bruce had an entire shelf of radios that were painted by this person. That's a custom paint. And they were, some of them were absolutely beautiful. There was one that he kept from his collection. I forgot which one it was. It was a General Electric.
oh,
But
interesting.
yeah, but there was somebody who was well known for this, and he had bought a whole bunch. And like I said, he had an entire shelf just dedicated to those painted sets.
I vaguely remember Howard, Bruce might have even mentioned the gentleman's name in his eBay description. I enjoy reading Bruce's eBay descriptions as well, because they'll tell you a little bit of the history of the radio, maybe just a few sentences, but sometimes you get some of tell you either something interesting about the radio. So I actually do encourage it. Another reason to look at his auctions, when you actually look at the radio, actually read the description, because sometimes you get some neat little tidbits about it. And I think he might have mentioned the gentleman's name, but it just doesn't come to me in the past, because he does give credit to various people if they did restorations or something unique about it. And like I said, Howard, you got the credit for the tuning eye for the Heath kit that I was looking over, and my eyes kind of got really big, but the price was not what I wanted to pay. Such is life.
Speaking of names, I think that fellow with the grill cloth was named Michael Katz,
Yes,
K-A-T-Z.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Greg. You
It just came to me.
sorry?
I just thought of it.
Excellent. Oh, yeah, it just, no, I can, you're 100% correct, because I have met Michael a few times and I remember his name now. It just, for some reason, I had a name retrieval problem with him. So let's see here. I wonder what we have here. Is this a,
Breadboard, AK breadboard.
yeah, I was just gonna say, neat.
Some nice Catlins behind there.
Yeah, huh? When this is, I think this is Bruce's table, I think. I've seen this DeWalt more than once. And now some of these radios, I think, were on Bruce's auction, some of these to follow. I could be wrong, but some of these look familiar. They were actually, he'll bring them to the show. If they don't sell, it goes off to eBay.
That is Bruce's table.
Oh yeah, there's the Firestar right there too. Just to the left. Yep. Thanks, Howard. I thought so, because some of these look familiar, because I remember pretty sure seeing them not long after the show, seeing these up for auction. Yeah, neat stuff. I'm sure there's some close-ups here, some others. There's a body here, the walls, and I'm not sure about this guy here, what kind this is. Maybe something.
I think that's another Theta.
Okay.
Now that I've moved down here to Texas, I'll correct you, John, because that's a D-wall.
Oh, D-wall.
It's a D-wall.
Thank you. I have to regionalize everything here. Oh, this is
Oh, Stromberg Carlson AWP8.
yes.
That is Stromberg Carlson's equivalent to a transoceanic. Uses the same tubes and everything. The only thing is that radio has a barometer and I think it's got a temperature gauge on the front, and just
Wow.
it's just a really cool radio. It even has long wave on it as well. I think a long wave band.
Yeah.
Seventy-
Wave bands.
Actually, looking at the price, considering what the you know, assuming this works, considering what, you know, TOs and the RCAs get, this is well within reason, especially if this works. You hardly see these. This is the first one I've ever seen.
And there's actually 2 4-inch speakers behind the tuning display there.
Oh, is that right?
Yes,
Wow, this is really chock full of, I guess, the, you know, competition.
I've worked on a couple of them. They're interesting radios.
Well, I guess it's the classic case of one-upsmanship, right? You know,
Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, do you want a Chevy, a Ford, or a Chrysler? You know, it's the same stuff.
right.
It's the same- it uses the same tube complement as the 600 series TO. You know, it's
Right.
even got the ballast tube in there, the 50A1.
Well, I guess they throw the extra, you know, gauges in there just to feel like you're getting a little bit more for your money.
Just to be different.
Right. That's pretty cool. I actually did not look at these photos that carefully, and I see, yeah, it's the temperature, humidity, the band or the band range. Okay. Neat. I mean, it's really a neat radio. In fact, actually, I think there's a different photo of this that Paul Rochello took that won 3rd place on our photo contest.
Yeah, I think
The
so.
the other thing about that radio, real quick, John, is that they made them. If you've seen the Hallicrafters TW 1000 and 2000s, and they came in several colors. These came in several colors as well. You could get it in gray. You can get it in dark blue, dark green. I think they had like 5 or 6 different colors. You could get the genuine imitation leather color you want on these. So
Interesting.
that's just really weird how far out they went on this radio.
Wow. It's actually, I really like it. I mean, I wouldn't mind having one. There's a comparison. It's got the RCA Victor you can see over here on the left here, which doesn't have all the extra cool gauges, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I said, I think it's the first one I've seen. So nice to see. It looks to be in nice condition overall. I mean, it's like a little bit of lifting here with on the leather, but overall it's in pretty solid shape.
It looks pretty good. I mean, I've seen some of these and they've been, you know, really stored in bad places, and the brass hinges are really tattered and falling apart, deteriorating, but that one looks overall pretty decent.
Yeah, I would think honestly, especially if there's a little bit of room for negotiation, that the asking price is reasonable, you know, get the reasonable price point considering what the others command. I would see if I can see what the RCA is being asked for. I think that says 100. So the
And
RCA,
Stromberg is 175.
yeah. And I guess for, you know, relatively rarity, I guess it's worth something. I guess.
A little extra money to know the temperature and humidity, huh?
Well, you know.
Bigger map.
That's right. Look at that nice fancy map too. It's big.
It's actually got a nicer map of the world compared to the Strato world.
Yeah, not quite as, you know, very old
And
world.
the Strato world's missing the handle. I could see that too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, so maybe $100. So this might actually emphasize it's actually not a bad deal at all.
I think that's reasonable for that radio.
Yeah. I agree, Bob. I see, because these lift right up. This closes up very nicely because this whole mat thing will come down and close up over here, and this little lid here will cover up all the knobs and gauges.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's kind of like an offset clamshell kind of thing, and you know,
Yeah.
just close up like that.
Yeah. Nice radio. Oh, well, here's the RCA Victor for a closer look. Sort of the yeah, I would say, not quite in the same class. Still a nice enough radio, probably.
That's in decent shape too,
Yeah.
other except for the handle.
Yeah.
What I like about the Strato Worlds is to get the wave rod antenna up. There's a small button on the right hand side toward the bottom, and you push it, and then the cap will lift up about an inch.
Yep.
And then you can pull the antenna up.
I see. It's like spring loaded.
Yes.
Nice. Very nice. Up. There's
I
John.
know John Comer. Oh, I forgot he's with the Witness Protection Program.
Right. But you said I think he said he did pretty well with the show, if memory serves. So we have a night ocean hopper. Look at this thing. See one of these. I can't remember last time I've seen one of these. So I assume this is missing a knob here.
Probably. I'm not familiar with that.
But here's a panorama of some pictures of videos and CDs and whatnot. There's Joe Coco, our webmaster, and WJOE behind, our local parts guy for restoring your vintage electronics. I'm not sure whose table this is. I can't read the name, but who is that masked man?
Another Witness Protection Program person there.
Yes.
Yes.
He's got those googly eyes. Ah, this
Is that a
one.
Hallicrafters TV? I think so.
I think you might be right. I'm not 100% sure, Bob, to be honest, but it's a TV I've never seen before.
Now, I don't know if that, maybe I'm wrong because that's wood. I'm not a TV guy.
No. Neat gold finish, a neat metal front though. It's actually a rather attractive looking TV, but I don't know from who made it. I think, and I could be wrong, Larry might have taken this photo because I think one of his photos was of this table that won second place. But I don't know if it was this one, but this guy, this vendor has all sorts of neat stuff. Not your standard radio stuff. It's all sorts of see microphone. I think you see some crystal sets. It's got quite the variety of unusual stuff.
That's a very eclectic table, if I do say so.
Yes.
Just a really different mix of stuff. It's kind of cool to look at.
Yeah, these kind of like unusual niche style things just scream for someone like Mark Best to come and see and buy, because remember from our prior Zoom meetings him showing such neat, unusual stuff. Oh, the Greeby, yes. I think if memory serves, and I could be wrong though, maybe Adam bought this.
I think you're right. Oh,
What?
Saved by the bell.
Yeah, that's yes.
Those are nice radios.
Well, I'll fix that in a moment. That's pretty funny. I'll get that squared away.
That's the cat. You should hear the dog.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I might get a little too trigger happy, so I might have muted somebody, one of you guys, inadvertently. Yeah, I think Adam got that. He seemed very pleased with his acquisition. I mean, look at the card looks almost brand new. I mean, it's in really wonderful condition. I really need, it's just all of the metal work, very, very attractive. And also the chain, sort of metal chain driven boards. What do we have here? Now, this, I'm not sure what this is. I'll recognize it. Very basic early radio,
Right.
unless it's a home brew, but
Anything on the tag?
it's very, oh boy, it's hard to read. I can't tell whether it's because it's darkly written and I'm seeing bleed through, or I'm seeing it upside down. I can't.
Yeah, can't make it out.
Yeah, because I'm losing granularity. This will be the remake, I guess, the mystery radio. This, I believe, is a combo clock.
Philco, yeah.
Yeah, Wilco it is. I'm sure whose table it was. Neat though. Nice.
That's an Echo phone.
Thank you. I was hoping someone might be able, because I wasn't jumping at me. And confirmed, an Echophone S3.
Yeah. Mhm.
It works, needs long antenna, $95.
So does mine.
Ah, you have one?
I do, yes.
This one's in pretty decent condition overall.
Yeah. A lot of people consider that to be one of the very first cathedrals. It's from 1930.
Interesting. I like the woodwork and the grill work and all. Nice.
The dial's unique too, it's kind of a thumb wheel.
Yeah, I see that. Very nice. We have here. This is the silver tone.
Could be, yeah.
It looks like an RCA to me.
Oh, you may be right.
Yeah, the bezel looks similar to a silver tone, but yeah.
That's what, yes, it threw me off. I was thinking silver tone. Yeah. Interesting radio. Certainly restorable. Everything is there. Might even get away with a sympathetic restoration, not go too crazy. Not doing a full blown, cosmetic, but I would.
Mhm.
Nice unit. I like it. Ah,
TV7. Oh, it's I-77B. Okay,
175.
that's very reasonable if it's working.
Mhm.
Yeah, hard to say. At least it's got the manual, which is helps. Fisher.
Hmm.
450. Looks to be reasonable condition. Interesting logo. I never really noticed that on these. Some sort of what that is.
It's missing a piece in the back. That there's an optional barbecue grill you could put over those 475.91s.
Right.
You cook a burger while you're listening to your favorite songs.
Hey, why not? Makes perfect sense.
They get hot.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. Or at least a couple of slices of bread to toast. You're worried about grease, for the grease getting through. All right. Let's see here. What do we got here?
Couple of RCAs.
RCA, yeah.
Yeah. I think they're both 45 changers on them, the Bakelite ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Says restored. $300. I think, if I read that right. 25 for this guy. Nice.
Mhm.
Okay, there's a nice pan out. We got wide, right? Well, we got the vintage chocolate chip cookies from. I don't know anyone guess the age of these cookies. Cookies aside, we have a few interesting things. We have this knight here, and we have here Crossley. Is that a Crossley? No.
It says Crossley on it.
Yeah, okay. I thought so. I thought that said Crossley,
I
but
just don't recognize the radio. That's not a pup because a pup was the one tuber.
Mhm.
Looks like there's two tubes in that one.
I think
Yeah.
that's a Model 51.
That, you know what? I think that's right. I think that's right.
I think that tombstone on the right is a Crosley too.
Mm.
And the one,
this one up here.
that one might be, but I think the square one, the tombstone is a Crosley.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And now that I can see that ocean hopper thing, it's got a little door on top. My guess is you change the coil on that to change bands, and it's a plug-in coil. I want to look into that. That's
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, for sure. This Melco Supreme 1924.
Did I miss the discussion as to what brand of cookies those were?
Well, we were debating on that a little bit, and also the era, because I guess, depending on the era, how many chocolate chips you got per cookie varied over the decades.
My guess was probably Chips Ahoy.
Ugh,
Famous
That'd be
name.
my
Chips
guess.
Ahoy been around for a while there, Bob, so who knows?
Well, they were vintage, like you said, so.
vintage,
You know,
stale.
and there's enough preservatives in there, they could be from the 60s and perfectly edible.
As long as there wasn't a lot of nicotine all over them from being in an old house. Sorry.
This is neat. This Melco, I've never seen a Melco before. 1924 award, winning everywhere, sold on eBay for $748. Wow.
I'm gonna have to Google that later on before I go to bed, because I'm not familiar with that.
I wonder if this is.
Melco Supreme.
But you could probably just use that little red one right in front of it and save yourself about $700.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, the little realistic flavor radio that's laying there?
Yeah.
Hey, John, can you zoom into the Melco logo? It says, I
sure.
just want to see if it says where it is. New
Says
York.
New York.
Yeah, it's New York.
Amsco.
Amsco product.
Okay, because Amsco made parts for, like knobs and sockets and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure. I gotta look at that too. I'm curious. Melco.
Oh, sure. This is a terrific. I guess is when this last sold on eBay or an equivalent one. This, these style radios, especially of this older stuff, reminds you of someone like, what's Merrill's last name? I know Hampshire specializes in all these vintage.
Bancroft.
Thank you. It's just like this is the stuff that Merrill would be selling because he has a lot of this really early stuff. There's a lot, but maybe not. I was just wondering whether that's him.
I'm a real novice when it comes to this stuff. Will it drive a speaker or does it only drive headphones?
See, I don't know on these.
In
It could
general,
drive a horn, it could drive a horn speaker.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking. Like, can it drive one of those or can it only drive a headset? So
I see two.
yeah, 2 phone jacks.
I just went on my phone and I come to find it says New York City, New York, Amsco products. It's gotta be a battery set. There's 5 201As in there.
Oh, okay.
That's about as much as I can get out of it.
Interesting.
That's from the Radio Museum website.
Okay. This is a-
I'm just helping somebody with a similar age radio. And he has a horn speaker that came with his radio, and it has the same lineup of O1As.
Okay.
Interesting. Well, this is in wonderful condition. You can see why it was sold as much as it did. You know.
You guys are dangerous. I learned something tonight.
There you go. I'm
So I'm
always,
glad John lets me come back here.
Bob, you are always welcome. I'm always learning something from all you experts.
Yeah, I just had to clear with my probation officer first.
Right.
As long as you pass the Corey check, then you can come back.
Wow. We're not sure about that, right? Is it
Mm.
Motorola? Unusual?
Oh, Motorola.
Unusual, huh? This Motorola, yeah.
That's
The
an
pack-
interesting but attractive color combination.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that's another one of those radios that have the on off with the door. So when you open the door, the radio
Yep.
starts playing.
Motorola was definitely big on that. I've got 2 or 3 that do that.
Interesting.
And they're decent performers. I got a buddy that collects a lot of those 4-tube, late 40s, early 50s sets.
And it's certainly unusual. If you'll give me something a little bit unusual on your shelf, this will certainly qualify. Especially with the, with this nice
I think that black and the green with the black back, case, it just pops. It's
Yeah.
really neat.
especially if you
call
can
It's the Pac-Man radio.
Yeah, there you go. It's got the Pac-Man logo on the front.
yeah. That's funny. I didn't think
And
of
what's that below it? That's
Let's
single
see.
dial.
This is-
Single dial, looks like a couple of binding posts on the left.
Yeah.
Says good
Look at the
tubes.
look at the metal work on this too.
Yeah.
It looks like it's pressed. It looks like that, like there's an image of something.
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
left.
This is kind of like
Stamping.
just like a person, I think, on both sides here. Like a woman and a gentleman, there's a tree. And then here it's like, is it a woman sitting on something like a, or is this a fence maybe? It's hard to tell.
I thought it was Jesus with a few disciples. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
hard to say.
Wow.
But I mean, I'm really curious.
It's the
seriously, as to
extremely
what that
rare
is.
second to the Last Supper radio.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
The last
And-
nosh.
In the base looks like it's textured somehow. I have no idea. Maybe a converter, but or an RF amplifier. But I've never seen anything like that. I don't even.
I'm
remember seeing
assuming
it.
there's more than one tube in that thing because it says good tubes on the label.
Yeah.
So you know it's got to have at least 2 tubes.
Yeah, exactly. Because
It's so disappointing to find out that it's a UHF converter for a television.
neat though. I mean, we're all scratching our heads as to who made this, but it's certainly an attractive unit because
Definitely never seen one before.
that's right. Yeah, definitely same here. Really interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. I'd like to know what that is.
The Cena 7002 Transoceanic behind there.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the only Transoceanic that wasn't made in Chicago.
Oh, really? There was,
That was made in Taiwan.
I was just gonna say, it must have been made abroad. Taiwan was like the first stop. It wasn't Japan, it was Taiwan. That was actually, it's funny you mentioned that seemed to be the fate of, for example, like early solid state, I mean, not early, mid, in the 60s and early 70s, airline radios. They started, the multi-band airline started in Japan, and then they moved over to Taiwan. And I thought the quality of the ones from Taiwan were very good. I have 2 of them because I bought them for a sentimental purchase. My dad had the same exact radio. I used to play with it as a kid. He was not too pleased because I ended up changing the station that he was trying to listen to, but he left it on and you say, you touched it, didn't you? Don't touch my radio. You know, but I liked it. It was just a neat radio. And so I found one on eBay for like 30 bucks, you know, in wonderful, wonderful condition, you know, just like almost loved it, you know.
I
So,
got in trouble with my dad with a television set. We had an RCA black and white TV, and my dad was right-handed and I was left-handed, and we were both into bowling. So we would watch the Pro Bowlers Tour on Saturday afternoons.
sure.
And because I was left-handed, I decided one day, I guess it was a Saturday morning, you know, before the program was coming on, I decided to get into the back of the TV and do a little switching of the deflection coils so that all the bowlers, because most of them were always right-handed, but suddenly all the bowlers were left-handed. I changed the sweep, you know, I changed the
That's
wires so that the raster would go in the other direction, so I could see how Dick Weber would look if he was a left-handed bowler, and my father was not amused.
Must have been funny. It must have been funny watching Earl Anthony throw right-handed.
Yeah, you know, I wouldn't have made the change when Earl was bowling. I only made the change because Earl wasn't bowling and everybody was right-handed, and I wanted to watch left-handed bowlers.
That's
But
funny. I'd certainly take it to another level there, Noah. I just adjusted the tuning knob. I didn't get into the guts. Okay, what do we have here?
A crystal set, yeah.
Yes, indeed. I see. Let's say Ariel, I guess. So I guess that's just the labels of all of what these little knobs do. Hector, yeah. Crystal set.
Nice well-built box.
One of those homebrew. Neat though.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Oh.
seen that photo before.
Yes, you have. I think this was maybe our first place winner again. Larry, former President Larry, cleaned up this time around. But look at all the goodies.
Some really cool looking ones too.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at all this stuff. You know, it's funny how you start talking about them, you start looking, you realize, wow, I missed this the first time when I looked at the photos.
A little
On the
further
very-
left with that little hand. I know. Look at that.
Look at this monster. What
It's
is
just amazing.
lots of neat stuff. There's a lot of radios. I don't even recognize who
No,
made this.
That's a Philco.
This
5
is-
knobs. It's awesome.
The
Wow.
graphic,
That's really neat.
There's
There's
a
you know what?
That's actually a really cool radio.
Yeah.
I think my co-host, we'll have to see him again when he says once things square away. I think he has one of these. As I remember, he's got the vertical bands, right? I think he has one. I could be wrong, but I think he showed us this like a couple of years ago. I think it was a relatively recent acquisition. But I think he has one.
There's a couple of guys in the Jersey Club that have those radios, and they're really cool radios. I think they're 25 L6s in push-pull for the audio.
Hmm.
It rocks the room with things in there.
Wow. Well, it looks like
I
it's
forget what they call that. I'm looking at the corner of the table in the picture, and I forget what those are those real old capacitors, right? I forget what they call them.
I
Oh,
think
you-
those are actually storage batteries. You put.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think those are 2.2 volt batteries.
Oh, okay.
Do you have an idea what this black set is here? This thing is highly unusual.
I think it's a Radiola 26.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not
Radiola.
sure.
That's an unusual piece.
That one on top of the Philco is kind of rare too, that Zenith Zephyr. The 1940.
Oh, right. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, this guy's has some neat stuff because they're just looking around. If you look at these more, he's got some pieces. You don't have your piece of piece you don't see every day.
Mhm.
I'm not even sure. They might recognize what some of these might be.
Firestone is on the bottom, and I believe it's it's either a Hallicrafters or an Echophone above it.
Wow. Unusual stuff. Early stuff, got some early radios. And he's got quite the offerings. No wonder they won first place. Good. Just the quality of the material alone was worthy of it. Oh, here's a couple close-ups.
Philco.
Oh. What's he asking? Is that 220? Yeah, I think that's, or is it, no, it's 120. Strike that.
Some of those had a photo finish on the front. And,
Oh, is that right?
yeah.
Oh,
There's a
it's nice
series
condition.
guy on YouTube, his name is Buzz1151. He did one of those and he recreated that front photo finish.
Yeah, he just did that not too long ago. He did a great
Yeah.
job on it.
Hmm.
I wish I had the skill set to do wood like Buzz and some of these other guys I see do. It's amazing what they can do.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Let's see what do we have here. This is
Got a National and a Plascon GE.
right.
It's got a nice little swirl in it
Yeah,
too.
I like that. Gee, I can't tell what they're asking. Number. It's a little too blurry. Nice looking radio. Nice condition. Ah, look at this. Here.
Hmm.
But they don't know what to who makes it. $40. No. I guess it's mostly the innards. Anything about this? Oh, a Howard. Is that?
Looks like an iTube hole there.
You sound like it says an iTube?
Yeah, that's got an iTube in it, that one there. Yeah.
I thought so.
Actually, Per came and visited me this morning and I showed him my Howard, which is a different model than that, but it also has the iTube. And it's got my name all over it.
Yeah, that was a nice radio to look at.
Up here we've got RCA. And a slightly better view of the dial face of the Philco we were talking about. Ah, we did get a close up. RCA. Radiola 10. I think someone called that earlier. I think it was Howard, right?
I
Wait,
said 26, so I was
Oh, okay.
wrong.
oh, okay. But it's interesting looking radio. Look,
That's a cool radio.
that is unusual looking. Almost looks like a heart or something.
Or like it could be an organ if it had like pedals and some other keyboards underneath it.
Yeah, very unusual, especially these little metal pointers. Really neat.
Yep, no chicken heads on that baby. If it was mine, it would probably have chicken heads on it, but I mean, that's, it's
more eclectic little look for this nice promotional clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another
Cat
clock.
in the middle.
Yeah. Must be another crystal set. I think we saw one earlier, the crystal set. That's here. Quite the variety.
A little bit of everything on that table.
Yeah, it's definitely eclectic. I don't even know what to make of out of some of this stuff over here on the right.
I like that clock. It says pre-tested radio tube. So that means that you could be buying a dud. Can you
Right.
test them first before you sell them?
Right. Cool stuff. Another angle shot there. Oh, this is interesting. Another crystal set, I suppose.
I dare you to
Spark gap.
hold those two posts with opposing hands.
So that would be a transmitter, spark gap transmitter.
Oh, right.
Or a
Would.
And that lady to the right there in the red, she's gonna sing the old Debbie Boone song, "You Light Up My Life."
yeah, it can double as a defibrillator, and in a pinch.
Yeah,
Early defibrillators.
too much kielbasa, you have one of those.
There you go. Cook your kielbasa on it.
From the inside out.
Yeah,
Notice before taking your bath. They see that electricity before taking your bath. The letters of
yeah.
electricity by turning mild, medium, strong. I have no idea what this is doing.
Coffee
I almost
machine.
wonder. if
Early
that's-
Keurig.
Yeah,
Ah.
I wonder if that's a quack.
I like it. It's gotta be. And who doesn't need a coffee before taking your bath?
Mild, medium, and strong.
Yeah.
Depends on whether it's for
Oh.
breakfast or whether it's for mid-afternoon pick-me-up.
So maybe, trying to think where they pour start. Is it coming at it like one of these? You have to hook something up, or
Might be for your hot toddies.
that could be too.
That's gotta be some kind of piece of medical quackery,
Probably.
you know.
This would be right up Mark Vess's alley, because he would know all about these things. And he probably has one. Gotta have him rejoin us one of these days.
Should ask him if it was bath tested.
Yeah.
How do I know if it works or not?
Yeah,
You
here,
actually
hold
have the bath?
this while I plug it in.
Here, hold my beer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remarkable. There's another close up of that clock.
Oh, that's General Electric.
Yeah, look at that. Very nice.
Telechron. Doesn't work right though. Shouldn't that dot be red since it's not plugged in?
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Hmm.
Got some early vintage.
A couple Emerson transistors. There's the Emerson 4-tube thing with the yellow in the door.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Yep.
I think the
Yeah.
one that you got your pointer over right now is RCA. That one, no, not that one right there.
This one here.
Zenith and a Jade. That's one of these Chinese cheap radios. I'm not sure what the one behind the black one is. That's probably some Japanese AM shortwave.
Yeah.
That one right there.
Sure, I'm losing resolution. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But it looks old enough. Could be like for example, could it be a National Panasonic, or hard to say.
Hard to say. But it's probably in good shape because the case is there.
Yeah. It looks in pretty solid shape overall.
When they're in a case like that, you know they're going to be decent.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. Probably safe bet. Oh, I got a mixture. You got the
Macintosh
Mm.
got a tuner and an amp
got this on-air sign. That's
and
pretty.
an on-air.
That's pretty
No,
fun.
no price tags, because if you have to ask, you can't afford the Macintosh stuff.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. This, I think, is a camera. Is it not?
Looks like it, yeah.
looks like it.
Not sure what kind it is, but Got some microphones.
No, I don't think so. I don't look at the two
That's a-
knobs on the top. I
Yeah,
think
that's a
Oh,
Tom
yeah.
Thumb.
that's a pop-up, like that's a television set. That's a Philco.
Oh, those,
Really?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That's an automatic, made in
Bicycle.
Boston.
Isn't
It
that a
says,
bicycle
it
radio?
says Tom Thumb on the front.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Tom Thumb.
So that's a radio, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's an
Oh, it
early
is. Yeah,
bicycle
you're right.
radio.
Good catch. Yeah, it's probably a radio. Wow, what an unusual looking radio.
Speaker grill down below.
Yeah, that would make sense. If it has to, if it's a radio, that would make sense.
Combination radio. It's a radio and a camera.
There you go.
I believe that's a bicycle radio.
It's a floor wax and a dessert topping.
Hey, John, I believe that's a bicycle radio. That's
Interesting. You may be right.
maybe, maybe not. Tom Thumb did make a bicycle radio
Yes.
that like strapped onto the handlebars that
Wait,
was.
what's that? What's that thing in the paper down below? It says lantern.
Lantern side plates.
Oh, lantern slides.
Lantern slide plates.
Oh, it says Easton Kodak right
So
below
you
it.
get to view the slides, but it's also a radio. How's that? Maybe.
It could well be, like you said, it's the combo thing. It even has a juicer attachment.
Yeah, exactly.
This obviously is
Where's
sold
Phil
at-
Swift when he comes in and says,
If
"The
you
work
open
is
it up
more."
inside there's a 10-inch pianist that plays that piano.
The mini Liberace in there.
Sorry, wait a minute. Now you have to edit this before you post it to the.
I wish my brother George was here.
That's funny. That is funny.
Oh,
Oh, great
This is
bizarre
great.
stuff that was there. That's amazing.
Yeah, some really cool stuff. Got a little closer look at the Macintosh and the on-air sign.
Yeah.
oh.
Very nice.
Well, it's not good for this group. It doesn't get AM. It's only an FM. It's only for those young 68-year-olds like me.
Speaking of which, everybody, this is Doa's birthday today. So he's gonna go out and paint the town some color, tan. A Prairie honorary member, Prairie Farmer.
Oh, WLS. That was a
think it-
Chicago station.
It's a complete set of bric-a-brac.
I'd say it looks that way.
Yes.
Other
Wow.
Mr.
It looks like a two-tester.
Yeah,
Weston.
Weston.
yeah, there we go. Tube checker, line check, yeah. I haven't seen one of these before.
Is that ohms or micromos?
Wasn't so observant here.
Little switches. Element selector. The,
Just bad and good.
yeah,
A filament checker.
Yep.
Yeah. we got here.
Wow.
Alali Light Corporation, radio apparatus division, receiving set. From Detroit. And they're asking 425, so this must be pretty uncommon. There's the headset. Wow. And
It's a strange cylinder on the front, like it's supposed to hold some kind of liquid or something.
I know, it's funny, I almost feel like it needs a filter, and that's where a fuel filter is.
Or yeah, kerosene goes in there, and then I don't know, and like look at that weird thing with the 3 holes in it on to the left there. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, no idea.
Unless that's a crystal detector, the only other thing I could think of is there was such thing as a liquid-filled grid leak it was an adjustable grid leak, and you'd push the plunger down more to get less resistance in your grid leak, but
Interesting.
I don't know. I want to
Interesting.
look that one up.
This is, yeah, Lolly, like, I mean, that, you may be onto something there, Howard, because it looks like this thing can move of some sort. Just not
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
It's almost like a pin here is holding it up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hard to tell. Wow, really neat. Another first.
Definitely. Is that the headset that's in that compartment?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
No wonder asking, well, I mean, this looks super unusual. I guess probably deserves the price they're asking.
Now, if you know what it is, then you'll know if that's a good price.
Yeah, maybe. That's what it comes down to. Simpson meter. Oh,
263.
wow. These knobs different? I mean, I know they're different, but they're supposed to be different.
Probably not. Got your generic chicken head on the left.
Yeah. If I'm looking at this, yeah, I suspect there's
That's
missing on it.
The
Yeah.
one on the right's probably the range switch.
Yep.
Yeah, my guess is that's the style knob that maybe belongs here. That's just a guess, but this doesn't look what it seems odd that you would have different knob designs.
That was probably a phone company meter.
Hmm.
That makes sense. Asking with instructions.
20,000 ohms per volt.
Oh. Neat. Well,
Saw that one before. That
yes,
TV.
we did. We had some overlapping photos because we have like 4 contributors to these photos, so we're bound to be a little bit of overlap. An old logger, that old. This is a radio, one of those specialty radios.
Oh, that's a RCA TV. Okay, I just saw the logo on the lower left.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, unusual looking radios, which should. I mean, TV. Pardon me. Oh, another up here. It's unusual. Tube tester, I suppose.
Yep. A read-write Ranger.
Read write Ranger. Pretty cool. Like the graphics and all on there. It's pretty nifty looking with the tube chart, so that's useful. Oh, another tube tester here. Radio City Products. Looks to have all the documentation. That's neat.
Oh, that's a little tube tester.
Yeah, it sure is. Look at that.
Wow.
That is
I
cool.
actually have one too, and I've got 2 dead tubes and 2 dead globe tubes just for display. It looks kind of cool.
I like it. Wow, this is old. Keith Kit. Cap tester with.
1629 iTube.
Yeah. iTube and all. It's a nice condition, actually.
I think if someone took the time and made a converter, they'll make a 1629 work like a 6E5 or a 6U5. They could probably make a pile of dough.
How many
iTubes
capacitors
are-
could
I don't
you?
know about up by you, but down here it's getting a little scarce. Find good iTubes.
Yeah,
How many capacitors could you buy for the cost of that set? And just not even check them, just throw them away and replace them.
yeah, that's a fair point. Here's So it's a transistor tester.
FET transistor tester.
Yeah, another Heath kit.
Be a nice piece to keep around the shop.
Yeah, there's some usual test equipment. But one, that's with the Steve. One of the members took a lot of photos of these test equipment and uploaded it to our album. So a lot of these are his.
Hmm.
Finan, I think is his name. TV alignment generator, another Heath kit. Oh, here's a good photo of that.
Here's that photo.
Yeah, that's cool.
There we go. Look at that dial face, all vertical. It looks very European. That's what always throws me off when I
Yep.
see this. You know, so it
Well,
goes.
I think there is this voltage switch in the back of it. It's got a dual primary transformer on it.
Mhm.
Oh, it's all right.
Thankfully, they didn't make it European enough to put those silly, awful, unreliable piano keys on
No.
No,
Yeah.
Flipco was probably too cheap to do that.
it.
So that's just kind of a blessing in disguise.
Yep.
Yes. Neat radio.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
That's
cool
a great
looking
radio. It really is.
Got the international kind of like. I wondered to your point, Bob, if maybe this was made for export as well. If it had a transformer, you could change the voltage, just like the Germans do.
I think they called those a Philcotropic, but in 1953 or so.
Yeah, I think that's what they called them, Greg. I couldn't remember what they called that radio.
That's a Tropa was a common I have to fetch my wife. I still have time, but I have to fetch my wife not too distant future. But I left her at a bar with their friends. I'll fetch her later.
Hey, I looked up that Lally electric light radio that we were looking at earlier, and on Radio Museum, Alan Douglas has a nice one on there. And that little thing that was in the middle that we were talking about looks like liquid might be in there is actually an adjusting knob. And
Oh,
all that does is adjust the cat whisker down till it just touches the crystal. So it's a
Oh,
crystal
okay.
receiving set. So
Ah,
that makes sense now.
Yep. Just
wow. It is an unusual looking little knob though.
Yeah.
in case one of your friends wants to just try to blow on the whisker and blow it off the crystal. It's like contained in the glass thing, so it's protected.
Right. Another tester.
little triplet voltometer there.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, I'm surprised all this test equipment, there isn't anything from Hewlett Packard, but
There
here.
you go.
Surprise.
Timer counter.
GR.
General radio. GR.
General radio.
General radio. Now look at that. Power supply. Oscillator.
That looks like my stuff, but that's on someone else's table.
It's funny. Hickok. The voltmeter.
That was definitely mine.
Ah, see? You're getting a little free press there, Hugh.
Well, I sold them. I think they're on someone else's table.
Oh, there you the old flipping.
ICO.
I actually have that generator and I love it. It's just easy and quick.
Neat. These and Northrop.
Millivolt potentiometer.
I wonder what what you would use that for.
That was
Very low
mine
powered,
also.
very low powered resistors.
That's
It's
huge.
it's for thermocouples. It's a
You-
Oh, there you
Exactly.
go. Yeah, well, that's a low powered
Oh.
resistor. Sure.
That makes sense.
12
Yep.
voltage source, but
Yeah,
yeah,
low
it
voltage.
actually, it has this really cool mercury junction inside of it, a little very accurate battery that's still good. It still had its voltage out to a couple, 3 digits.
So if you have a J or a K thermocouple, you can grab one of them.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
think
cool.
that the reference was for calibrating it, but yeah,
Oh, okay.
somebody picked it up. I grabbed it at the flea market out at Gardner last year. Nobody wanted it. I've taken it to several shows. I think I finally gave it away, but it found a new home.
I see. Another tube tester, Pico.
Pico tube tester.
Yeah, I
I don't know
brought
if I'd
2.
want that one. It's a model 666.
Huh.
You New England
There you
guys, you know what that means, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there we go.
You have to join the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Then it's okay to use.
There you go. There you go.
Uh,
Oh, another hiccup.
Oh, 600A. I just bought one of them.
That was mine too. Somebody picked that up from
Please
me.
some attention.
I didn't sell the ICO though.
That's a decent little tester, that 600A. I like all the Hickok stuff. I just wanted to have a decent meter that'll do stuff in micromodes instead of just good and bad.
Right. Yeah, wow, the Psycho is in really nice condition.
Nice little cap bridge.
Yeah, exactly. Nice condition. $5, I think. Another ICO, multi-signal tracer. Boy, this is quite the windfall of. Now this is unusual. Solid state dip meter.
Tip meter.
Nice.
Wow.
See one of these very often.
No.
Actually, they are quite popular, but to find one with all the coils without one missing, all 7 of them like that, that's what's rare.
I was just gonna say that because I was like, I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Just for the coils.
Yeah. That's neat. A Millen solid state dipper, another dipper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Such unusual pieces we had this time around.
You guys get a great variety of stuff.
You have to get yourself up here, Bob.
Kepco.
Flushing, New York. Dover, New Hampshire is the Clara
Wow.
Manufacturing Power Resistor. Dover, New Hampshire. Where
I
Dover-
don't
the-
believe I've
yeah, the
ever
power-
seen one of those.
The power stuff is up top, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, another tube tester.
That looks military.
Yeah. Yeah. Department of the Army.
Department of the Army.
A bulletin, yeah. There we go. There's a ICO, I think. Yeah. Wow, lots of tube testers this time around. I'm impressed. Kepco power supply. RCA.
Audio oscillator.
Wow.
It is, yeah.
Sine and square.
Oh, missing a knob. That's probably easily found.
That's a later one. That's kind of surprising because you see the later RCA logo on it
Oh, yeah.
instead of the meatball.
Right. Heathkit, audio generator.
In decibels,
Gee,
1 milliwatt into 600 ohms.
Oh, this is unusual.
Hmm.
I'm not even sure what this does. Something scientific.
It's almost like it has pegs that go into the holes or something, like
Yeah.
it's a decade resistance box or something.
Yeah.
An early binary adder.
Yeah.
Ah, there you
Yeah.
go. Ah,
Yay.
making your eyes tear up there, Noah.
Yep. Those damn HP scopes don't trigger. Get me a Tektronix box.
Another ICO audio generator. Heathkit bridge. Oh, lots and lots of test equipment. A Yaesu. It's a receiver. We've changed to more modern electronics here.
Definitely.
That's an oldie with the vacuum fluorescent display.
Yeah, oh yeah. Mm,
I've always liked them though. I think they're cool.
indeed. Then model 229-2.
Not DC leakage, but AC leakage.
Agilent.
Yay.
That's
Ooh,
pretty-
that's really
that's
that's
very
that's
modern.
now we're getting newer. HP to Agilent and then eventually Keysight.
Wow.
Yeah, right. I know people of both those. Yeah, indeed. Well, this must have just been, come along for the ride.
Yep.
Now the Agilent power meter, Home Ranger.
Hi ho silver.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's the Home Ranger.
It's the old- Well, it's got the black, for the
Yep. Oh my.
Those 6-digit meters can be pretty handy. You could find a short on a circuit board with those things, looking for where the voltage is lowest.
interesting. Heathkit. Digital design, sure, some sort of.
Those
I-
were used in schools.
Yeah, that makes
Quite a-
sense.
For students who would experiment with let's say a flip-flop circuit or just logic gates.
Yeah.
And, that's probably came out of an MIT or a UMass Lowell when it was Lowell, when it was Lowell Tech, whatever, kind of one of those places.
That makes sense.
You don't learn though as much on those as you do with like a 20 kV flyback in a nice old television set though.
Let's
It's a
get
different style of learning.
Yeah.
the department in here. It says Screams Academia, Department 208. Somebody owns this once.
Woo.
Emerson Mustang. You get a record player.
That's just a little record player up
Yeah,
above. I
exactly.
was looking at those bizarre electronics below it. That's way
National-
beyond my pay grade.
National.
National Panasonic.
Yeah, this must be the late 60s then, I would say.
Oh, that's late 70s right there, that radio.
Oh, is that right? Oh, is that late
Yeah,
70s?
and they're
DR49, I'm sure you
I
could
didn't know
look
they
it up.
carried
and-
the national name that long.
yeah.
They certainly,
That
the
was a-
design looks it. Yeah.
That was a very expensive set. And I think it still commands a fair amount.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I see no price tag on this.
I haven't seen a price tag in a while.
But yeah, sometimes they're hidden back. Oh, this is unusual. Sure what to
Hey,
make it.
go back for 1 second, John, to that previous photo. You see to the left of that turntable, there's this Ramsey kit. Is that? Do you guys see that? Is that a like an AM transmitter or something in there? Oh no. Okay.
Oh, it's a
that's
mini
all-
receiver.
Okay. All right. Never mind. I thought I saw something I wanted. But
No problem.
At first I thought it was a Nakamichi electronic crossover, but no.
I'm not sure who makes this. This almost looks military grade almost. In some
Yep.
way.
John, zoom into the meter below where it says volts. I think there's a logo there. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm losing granularity. It's hard.
That's something. I don't know what.
Yeah. It's definitely got some sort of neat logo. I just can't.
Alternating current, milliamperes, volts.
Great current. $40 with coil set.
Not bad.
You get variable voltage regulator power. Amps.
Milliamps? What are you gonna do with milliamps?
Oh. Oh, look at this. Nice ICO operating manual.
Marker generator.
Sweep and post-injection marker generator. Heat pit isolation transformer. Oh. Works, $25. That's pretty good. Pretty reasonable.
Comes in handy, yeah.
I don't see them very often in some of our shows, isolation transformers.
No,
In good condition too.
35 volt.
It's a pretty good, like a pretty reasonable deal if it works. Transistor check.
Leader.
Spray. Oh my. Capacitor analyzer. North Adams, Massachusetts. Interesting.
Another eye tube up there on the left.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Eye glows
Eye
only when using buttons A to E.
Sprague in the early days had some problems with inventory at the North Adams factory, and they learned that a lot of their employees were ham radio operators. They figured it out. That's a true story, by the way.
That's funny.
Used to sell test equipment to Sprague Electric in their Worcester facility.
My favorite, the 10 kV probe. It's
Yes.
like, well, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, but I could use that.
Zzz.
Indeed.
That yoke working.
Yeah, I don't know. Piece of test equipment. Oh, another two tester. I think is that the same?
That's the same one, I
We
think.
saw
Yeah.
that before.
Yeah, I think we have some overlapping photos here.
Looking at it upside down, it's ohms, not mohs.
Just reverse the leads.
Well, that's when the Three Stooges did, vintage electronics.
Right.
This is mouse.
I gotta say, the funniest story tonight was switching the deflection yoke for the left-handed bowlers. That was hysterical.
Well, the first thing I learned was the Lissajous figures just by rotating it 45 degrees and hooking my stereo up to it. But then I got more aggressive when it came time for the bowlers. And it was not our only TV in the house. By then we had a CTC 35 chassis RCA color television set. So, if I blew up the old black and white one, it wasn't going to be the end of the world.
Right.
in college, I built a color TV expressly for Lissajou figures. It had ring counters and color filter, frequency filters on the colors.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, use crossovers to then get different colors for the different frequencies as well. Yep. Yeah, I did that in college as well. We must have taken the same drugs. I don't know.
A lot of Heathkit stuff, a lot of varying Heathkit stuff.
Yeah, I know.
KLH. Yep.
Yeah, KLH, yeah.
You guys probably still have a lot of KLH stuff floating around your area, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good old Henry.
$80. FM.
And it works. Or best offer.
Or, but let me say OBO.
Yeah, that's not bad. I left one of those at an antique store the other day for probably 30, but whatever.
Looks
Yeah,
like a
but
Dynaco to the left there. See the
Oh, yeah.
silver face, that looks like a, could be a PAS or a PAT, something or other Dynaco.
Yeah. Yeah. Hickok.
Oh, I think we saw that.
Oh, you're right. Probably, like I said, because multiple people took photos, there's sometimes a little overlap. Station allocator.
Look at that.
That's weird.
WORC, NBC,
WNBC. WABC.
ABC.
Interesting. I have no idea what this thing does.
It allocates stations.
I get so they yes indeed. So the label says. Simpson. Very see Simpson. Who else?
Simpsons and triplets. Oh my.
Mm, yeah.
We were looking at that horizontal Simpson before. This is a later version, 269.
Oh, okay.
They're actually 100,000 ohm per volt. It's like a
Okay.
16 microamp movement with this thing. It's crazy.
Interesting.
You really to know and not load down the circuit.
Battery.
Battery eliminator.
Harmonic distortion meter. All these Heathkit. Lots of Heathkit.
Yeah, lots of Heathkit stuff you don't generally see.
Yeah.
Sure. This was an exceptional show for test equipment. Jackson.
Good thing I moved far away.
Bring a trailer. Sensor tester, two of these. You got the Jackson 2.
And correct application of chicken heads.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. Good condition. There we go.
Yay.
Stuart
Must have a
Warren.
little RCA jack on the side to plug in your little 45 RPM record player too, record changer.
Oh, and this RCA. Yeah. This will
See
still.
the little switch, the second one in from the right.
Oh yeah, there you go.
AM/FM
This if you-
phono.
Yeah,
There
it's
you
a
go.
page there. Yeah.
Oh boy, I would have been all over that one.
Oh, it screams your name. I have the chocolate brown and tan sister of the Stuart Warner. They're neat little radios.
That got a Telecron clock on there, John?
Sure does.
Looks familiar.
Yeah. Yeah, decent nifty looking radio. They made 4 of them total. I think the brown I have, the blue, I think they made one either green. And I think they did one in red.
That's
think red-
alarming.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry.
That's okay. Anything goes in these Zoom meetings. Yeah, and the neat thing is the dial pointer on these is
Mhm.
light is connected to the dial pointer, so when you sweep, it just sweeps along. It's actually a nice little.
Oh, so it's like the GE beam of light, so it just
Yeah.
follows along with the
Yeah,
light.
it's a
Exactly.
cool, it's
Yeah, it's
cool
just clamped
radio.
onto the dial pointer. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it's still got its 3 little white knobs. Usually one of those is gone.
Yeah.
Sometimes
mine's
they're all
in pretty good
missing.
shape. Yeah. I like these little store warners, lesser name, but it's a little product. Nice. Oh, this is one of those redos, cross sleeves. Yeah. Still nice looking. Oh, here's something. Here's Roger. I see a few names. I think there's Roger. I see recognize anybody, but just doing a scan. Oh yeah, it's that French.
There we go.
That's
Oui.
beautiful. These are just like nothing you've ever seen. Oh, another Philco picture.
There it is again.
Here it is again. Yes, guaranteed that more than one photographer was involved here. Ah, good to have the
Ooh,
picture over.
with the flip down.
Yeah, so there we go. This is worth another shot. Somebody nicely opened up the thing. What a neat this radio attempt and a neat radio. Oh, saw that. Ah, this is Paul Lavoie's.
Yep.
How he.
Yep. Mr. Fancy Cabinet guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I had one of those that was, it looked like that one, if you put it in your kitchen oven at 475 for 30 minutes.
Oh. Uh-oh.
They just, I don't know, they just melted, especially that, your scutcheon plate and the buttons, everything, it just melted and sagged and it smelled awful.
Oh.
Yeah, luckily there's some good reproductions of both the escutcheon and the buttons, the wine colored buttons. I forgot who makes them, but I've seen them and they're pretty good.
Yeah, it's very nice. Bruce's table again. Saw most of these, although we didn't see the Pepsi radio very easily, but yeah, and wanted Bruce is looking for one of these 39 Philco TP20s in case you're on the prowl. I don't know if Bruce has found one yet, but still looking. Ah, yes, same TP we saw earlier. Ah, here, classic Zenith AM FM. You've seen there's always plentiful. At least it's got the still has the Zenith badge on it.
With the blue Naugahyde special down below.
Oh yeah, that's like woo. That's what the French rail lit up. That is so cool.
Wow.
I mean, look at this with these. That's just.
Who knew Citroen made radios?
Well, does it have the hydrodynamic suspension?
It runs, yeah. There's that.
Up?
Well, see, that's the LHM green is in the dial face there.
Yes,
The green fluid for the suspension.
exactly. It's a hydraulic.
Well, it ran the suspension, the power steering, and the brakes. So you lost all 3 when you had a hydraulic leak.
Yeah, there was no more fun than that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had fun with my 3 Citroen cars.
Yep, me too.
I gotta look at this too carefully. There's definitely a Telefunken, but no, it's Grundig. That's a Grundig. That is might be that's a Grundig as well. I'm trying to think of the model numbers, but I didn't even notice these before. So I wonder if that's.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, how come you're not all over those?
Oh, well, I didn't make the show because I was sick. So.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, you know what? Of course, none other than Ross's table, because I'm realizing I saw Ross was selling this Westinghouse. So.
Oh, okay.
So
That makes sense.
It hit me, and of course, and I see the Grundig here. That's actually pretty nice too. Geez.
Yep.
I regret not being there, but that's life. But yeah, he's got a couple of these are so 2 nice Grundigs. Look to be in pretty nice shape too. It's a panorama of parts and radios.
Well, I noticed that, see the thing with the, like the gold or brass or whatever around it on the right, on the bottom?
This one
I
right
think
here.
that's a, yeah, I think that's a Sherwood.
Yes, you are. That's Sherwood for sure.
Mm.
Good call. IBM presents, you make the,
Oh, and right in the middle there, you see the white and red silly thing?
yeah.
Yeah, that was, oh God, I want to say, what the heck, and it has records with it too. It had
Oh,
a little slide.
Show and
Like-
tell.
Yeah,
I
the
know.
show and tell. Little slides would go down and show up on the little screen that would match
Oh, how cool.
the music or the narration that went on the turntable.
I
Yeah,
had one and I got a video of it running.
My cousins had one. In
slide is
Philadelphia, we used to
low
play with it.
budget. It's really, if you look at it, you say, oh God, this is horribly low budget. And the thing was, you had to spin the turntable until this little line lined up in this window so
Yeah.
that it would advance the slide at the right time.
Yep.
But I'll bring up that video sometime, put it
It
on
was
the
a,
site.
and
for
it
people
was
to
a,
look
it was
at.
educational as well as fun.
I had one back in the 70s, mid 70s. Haven't seen one since.
That's cool. Yeah, that's the, you have to go through the tables very carefully to find these goodies.
You know, thank goodness I'm not living there anymore. I probably
Oh,
would have come
see.
home with that silly thing.
You have to come, stay over, bring a trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see, I recognize this is this is Paul Lavoie's table. So now what do, oh, shoot. I didn't look at this carefully. Oh, this is the
Oh.
Saba. This is a Saba. Oh, what's the?
Too new.
It's a, no, it is still tube. It's probably, semi-hybrid, but it is a, oh.
It's
what's-
got that awful circuit board and those nasty knobs that at least those little chrome things didn't fall off yet.
Oh, boy, it kills me. If the price were right, I might have snapped that because that's been on my short list. My wife would kill me though.
Well, it's Paul's, so he probably didn't sell it because it's probably got a pretty hefty price tag on it. So you might still be able to contact him.
Well, I guess it depends on the price. It is a telephone and Kubota, by the way. These are just
Yep.
nice. Oh, very nice. That's not good. That's a Kubota, probably a 5253 or 5353. Very nice little radios, 3 speakers.
Yes, I do.
And they even have 5-pin DIN, so you can
there.
play through easily, no problem. They're just nice little radios. I have a couple of those. Oh shoot, I had no idea I had that Saba. The name will come to me later. I think it was an L.
Not the Village Inn, is it?
No, this is it'll come to me later. This is stereo. What's nice about this is it even has I think a FM multiplexer. So this is around 64, 65, the last of the tube Sabas. I'd have to hear it, but boy, if they, well, at any rate, a little torture. Maybe I'll see him at Springbrook Line. See what he's commanding. So I see one. I see Awana. There's, boy, this was a really good show. All sorts of neat stuff I'm looking at here. It was good I wasn't there. Look at all this vintage stuff. Now we have to do is name that radio. We know that's Philco, saw that earlier, right?
2 Philcos and 2 RCAs on the left.
Yeah.
And in the middle, I believe that's I don't know. Hard to say.
That looks like that RCA we saw earlier at
Yes.
Tombstone.
Oh, yeah. Boy, this is a good show.
Yeah.
I'm tired, just wanted to check something.
Hey, you know, we are talking about things that are older and newer here. Hey, John, can I share my screen for 1 second?
Of course, let me,
Believe it or not, the Simpson 260 is something that is still in production, and for $500.36, you can go to Granger and buy one.
Hmm.
So,
Really?
really interesting here. But just wanted to show that to you guys. But yeah, they still obviously make them. Obviously, they're a little more rugged. 100. Well, anyway,
oh,
it's
how
still
cool.
it still requires a 9-volt and a D battery. Kind of still has the same stuff, but yeah, for $500.36, you can buy one from Granger. So
Ah, there you
least-
go.
at
Good to
least-
know.
At least it doesn't need a 22 or a 15-volt battery, though.
yeah. So anyway, go ahead, John. I just wanted
No,
to
no
share that
problem.
with
No,
everyone.
no, not a problem. I'm not going to wrap up. So I'm going to let you, I'm going to cut you guys loose because it's, let's maybe just quickly go through the rest of them and we'll cut you guys loose. Just mostly this, I will say this was a really good show. I just, the quality of the goodies is impressive because even I catch things I didn't catch when I looked at the photos the first time. It's like, I'm glad I wasn't there because I probably would have come home with more than I should have. But there is Spring Brookline. Oh, there's Adam taking his photos, looking appropriately wintry.
With this ancient Sony digital
Yeah,
camera.
yes, indeed. Which some of these photos were taken by him. Oh, he's got projectors. Wow, look at all these. See, I think is that a TO? It's all sorts of neat stuff. Wow, what a good show. This looks likely German. Not sure what this. I don't think it's a Bob Hunt. I see the buttons here. Yeah. Wow, look at all this stuff. Ah, look at that look at that Telepron wall clock. Oh, cool. Teletype.
Hmm.
Oh boy, I wish I knew about this, but I don't know if this lights up. Probably not. Guys, it's killing me. I would have
Well, it's special. It's for the visually impaired. You can see it's just so small.
yeah, right.
I think it's probably about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet. Big old thing.
Yeah. Cool. That's when it was a promotional thing they put out there. You know, unless it was a that doesn't look like something. It looks promotional to me.
Probably.
Oh, I
Probably
would
not a
have had
standard
it.
issue at all.
That's cool. There's Jim, one of our trainers and board members, cul-de-sac. His son. And their table, obviously. Oh, the good stuff here. I recognize that. Whoops. Go back on that.
That's Roger. He's
That's it.
got a couple neat silver tones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Look at this. The silver tones. Wow, this is a good show. Look at this unusual. This might. Oh, it's a Phillips. I thought this was a Phillips. There's Joe. He's got this big old boom box he must have been selling. Test equipment. There's Roger walking away. Their picture of Joe's always selling the various capacitors and stuff like that. And it's just the usual repair kits, all the goodies you need. Picture radios. Oh, another picture. There's Bruce. We saw some of the stuff earlier. Actually, this is we didn't see this one. Is that Philco? What is that? The tuning eye, no less.
It's a Ward's airline.
Airline, yeah.
Huh.
Mhm.
Wow, look at that. Very well attended, just judging from the crowds.
Wow.
Mhm.
Oh, look at that. I see that's definitely Paul's table because it's, or maybe not, that's a Philips. They're usually command pretty good money, those early stereos. This is from the early mid 60s, I'd say. Ah, there's that frame. Oh, Bill's taking a little bit further back. Radio. Oh, oh, he's got a little mini one, like a little like model. Oh, that's Paul's. That's the guy that had that very nice German Saba. It's his goods.
Yep, just about everything of his is very nice.
He died. So I bought a couple of things from him. He gave me a very good deal. That's why I ended up with my Telefunken RB46 speakers that I wanted. He gave me a really fair deal. And I came away with an Arena, early 70s Arena receiver amplifier, made in Denmark.
What's the thing way over on the left on that table?
This thing right here, no
Looks
idea.
like a equalizer or something,
Bunch of buttons. That's all I see.
or sliders or something.
Yeah,
It looks like
exactly.
it could almost be some like kind of early Marantz or phase linear thing or something. I don't know.
Yeah, good question. And I don't have enough granularity to
Yep.
use the resolution. Yeah, this is Paul's table. You know what? Judging from the stuff moved around, I think that Saba did sell. Blimey.
No,
Oh.
that could be early setup photo right there where it's not in
Oh,
the room
maybe.
yet.
Maybe.
Not in-
Look at how much empty space there is in the tables
right.
behind it.
You're right. There may be hope. I think it's a Lindau. That's maybe what it is. I thought it was something 18 was the number. There was a 16 or an 18. I think 18 is stereo. Oh, that's the
Oh, brrr.
yeah. Don't you want that? Come on,
No. Now, I almost made a comment earlier, but when the Castleton discussion was going on about, well, what about maybe would Castleton entertain the idea of one or two food trucks paying some kind of a fee to have a couple food trucks outside? But who the heck wants to go outside in that to go to a food truck?
Yeah, stand outside because there was a little bit of snow that happened the day before.
A
Remember?
little bit of snow? Look at that.
Well, there was more. This is accumulated, but there was a nuisance storm that happened. It was like you got that 3 or 4 inch thing. I forgot what it was, but it was a nuisance storm on Saturday that we got.
Wow.
I take it that's the smoking lounge outside there
Yeah,
for all those people that need their nicotine fix.
yeah. Even with rocking chairs, just in case you want
Well,
to
it
have.
looks like there's a little fire pit there in
Now,
the middle.
there's old smokers that are still around,
Fire pit, little pergola,
Yeah.
some ice fishing.
Oh, look at that piano. Look at that. You can be entertained.
I could play the first few bars of The Entertainer. That's about as far as I can go on a piano.
And of course, the classic chopsticks, right?
Oh, and chopstick. Well, yeah, that's the standard.
Yeah, right. Of course. The herds are lining up for the gates to open and to trample the
I'll
suspecting
say
vendors.
something. I'll say something about roses on a piano, and then I'll stop there.
I think I know this joke.
Go again. Oh, there's a gentleman. They sell lots of parts as well. He and his, I assume, daughter are here like all the time. Ah, there's Michael Katz's
I
table.
wonder if he knows the guy who always has the sheets and sheets of veneer.
I don't know. Be good to ask.
And be good to have them next to one another in these events. You could buy your veneer from one guy and buy your grill cloth from the other, and you're on your way.
Yes, indeed. Ah, there's Tom,
And then the tube guy right next to them.
our member secretary and tube guy and radio repairman. That's-
Very reasonable prices on his.
Yes,
TV.
he is. He's always, even his radios he's selling are always reasonable. And he's always willing to talk too. So, very reasonable, very, very
If you're
reasonable.
willing to do something stupid like drag home some oversized televisions, he'll even give you some stuff. Don't ask me how I know that.
Okay. See, I think we saw, yes, we saw this picture of a different photographer though.
There's another
It's another,
nice panoramic.
yes, indeed, to see the same Philco. All right, I think we're almost wrapped up here. So I think old phones. Look at all these goodies. Wow. Yeah, that's the RCA TV we saw earlier.
And the Macintosh stuff.
Yes. And
The
another
clock.
clock. Oh, that's
Casey Kasem.
I think that's Chris Thompson, I think. Oh no, usually it's, it could be wrong though. It just looks from this angle, maybe not.
I didn't see Chris at the show, but that
Okay.
little Crosley on the left, I bought that. That was the only thing I really bought. No, the very,
Tombstone?
very left,
Yeah.
the tombstone. Yeah, that one right,
This one.
that one right there. That's a
Are you gonna
Crosley.
make a package deal for the Casey Kasem to go with that?
Nah, that's too novelty for me.
Bruce's table. This is definitely Adam's pictures. Repeat. And that's got the freebie. That's Ross. Vendors, there's an interesting radio right here. I'm not sure what that is.
Hmm.
Granularity is a little bit, but that's unusual. Sure what
That's
this
an Admiral, and I believe it's a phonograph.
Oh yeah, Admiral was big on that trapezoidal type.
Mm.
good to know because that one I didn't catch. We're just out of photos here. Yeah, I think this pretty much, I think this is
Brr.
closer up of the, so something that you long to come
Stop
back.
it. Just
for.
move. Next slide. Next slide.
I
There you go.
think, yeah, I think this is.
Couple of tube caddies. See the orange and red tube caddies in the middle of
yeah.
that last photo.
Yes, indeed. This is setup time.
Yep.
So there's zip through these.
I missed the event, but not the snow.
Yeah. We talked about this earlier. This was, there we go. Is the little monument.
I think is that an Empire turntable? What kind of turntable is that? Somebody.
Not sure. Let's see here. Boy, it's hard. I can't get enough on this. The picture is pretty low quality.
Yeah.
Sorry, Noah.
Oh, and a mystery clock.
Yeah, that's the, oh, you talking about this? No, it's
No, the mystery clock, the gold one on the left of the turntable. The round.
Oh,
mystery
yes.
clock.
Yes.
That's a directional antenna.
Jefferson mystery clock.
No, that's a clock for sure. You see the
Yeah.
hand?
Is it?
Yeah, I have 6 of those.
I wonder if this is Adam's table, because he's a clock enthusiast as well. We've been having some private conversations on this. He knows a lot about telecron, all sorts of this. I have a feeling this is Adam's table. I assume he had a table. I could be wrong, but it is sort of speaks to this would seem typical of something he might be selling.
My college roommate had one of those turntables, and he was so proud of it because he spent a fortune on it. If you go back to it for a second, when the lid is down and you're playing a record and you're trying to impress your friends with what an amazing belt drive, super duper low noise, anti-vibration, blah, blah, blah. If the lid is down and you just rub the sleeve of your sweatshirt across the top of the plastic
Yeah,
lid, it'll just lift the tone arm right off the record from the static electricity.
wow,
And you'll be like, oh, nice turntable you got there. That's, you know,
that's pretty funny.
he was not happy with me when I did that.
And this is the last photo. See Russ way in the background there. Yeah, it's just, well, I'll tell you, what a great show.
That was an awesome show.
It's a really good show. Wow. I guess I was good I didn't go because I there's a pretty reasonable chance my trunk would not have been empty.
Yep. There are some very interesting pieces there.
Well, I appreciate you guys hanging on a little longer than planned, but we actually got through all the photos, so there were some fun discussions anyway. So I guess I should do is let you guys go, enjoy what's left of your evening. But I appreciate you guys attending. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Thank you.
bet. And I think Greg will help us the next one to go to the Wisconsin Antique Radio Club, which I've seen the photos is some good stuff.
We've got our Madison meet coming up on May 7th. There might be some more pictures we can throw in after.
Yeah, I've got some pictures from Arizona to show of radio. So there was some good stuff there as well. A lot of miniature stuff. This one guy has an amazing collector of all this little mini tube ones stuff, rare stuff, promotional things.
We'll have to get some cheese curds for the next presentation.
There we go.
Some bratwurst.
There you
Yeah.
go. You go from kielbasa to bratwurst. There you go. We'll have our sausage covered, so to speak. You know. But all right, guys. Thanks very much
All right.
for attending.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you in a couple of weeks.
Thank
Have a
you.
good couple of weeks.
Thank you, John.
You bet.
Thanks a lot.
Have fun.
Good night.